everybody for coming. My name is Gianna, my mentor is Roger Early-Collier, and our faculty advisor is Dr. Patrick McRae. We all work at the Center for Nanotechnology in Society, or CNS, looking at the historical context of nanotechnology, and the National Science Foundation funds our project. Now, why should you care about the history of nanotechnology? Why is the National Science Foundation funding research on the history of nanotechnology? Well, by using the history of nanotechnology, we can better understand its present and help direct its future. So, the history of nanotechnology is important because it helps generate policy recommendation, it benefits the public by informing them, and it helps avoid problems like it happened with GMOs, nuclear power, and DDT. To collect evidence for my project, I look at primary sources and secondary sources. Primary sources are original documents written during the time being studied, so letters, diaries, speeches, and emails. Secondary sources are based on primary sources and are written after the time being studied, so encyclopedias, textbooks, critiques, and publications. Now, before I continue, I would like to let you know that I'm going to be using the term green nanovisions to refer to the environmental visions and promises of nanotechnology. So for my project, I analyzed the green nanovisions by scientists and policymakers between the 1980s and 2000s. For example, I look at A. Drexler and his ideas about nanobots. I then examine the policy consequences of these green nanovisions. So what I'm going to argue today is that the green nanovisions were one of the reasons for the delay on environmental health and safety regulations. I will first talk about the green nanovisions and how they develop over time, and I will then explain or discuss the policy consequences. And I will show you emails about internal emails from the Environmental Protection Agency. So, Eric Drexler earned his PhD from MIT. He published Engines of Creation in 1986, and with his book, he popularized the ideas of nanotechnology to improve or fix the environment. He expressed concern on the current capacity of our environment because he knew that population was growing by increasing pollution and diminishing food supplies. So his solution to this problem was a technological fix rather than a cultural fix. He saw nanotechnology as a way to help us go beyond our environmental limits. So, for example, as a solution for global warming, he envisioned self-replicating nanobots that could store gas molecules and extract carbon dioxide from air. Drexler's ideas influenced fellow scientists, including Nobel Prize co-winner Richard Smalley. Dr. Richard Smalley was a professor at Rice University, and he won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1996 due to his co-discovery of a nanoscale form of carbon called buckyballs. In 1999, he wrote an email to the government expressing his ideas about nanotechnology and the importance of a national nanotechnology initiative. His ideas about nanotechnology were more realistic. He envisioned a new, renewable, clean form of nanoenergy and green manufacturing processes. Richard Smalley worked closely with major science administrators such as Michael Rocco. Michael Rocco is the current senior advisor for nanotechnology at the National Science Foundation. He formally proposed the National Nanotechnology Initiative in 1999. And he put together all organizations that could benefit from nanotechnology and persecution to the NNI. In 2000, when the National Nanotechnology Initiative began, he declared that nanotechnology could boost crop yields, desalinate water, and provide renewable energy. So these realistic ideas about nanotechnology by scientists and policymakers created for the creation of a National Nanotechnology Initiative. So here's a picture of Clinton at Caltech in January of 2000 announcing the National Nanotechnology Initiative. Many departments of the US government took part in this multi-billion-dollar investment which aimed to fund the realistic visions by scientists and policymakers. The focus of the NNI during its early years was on applications. So the implications were overlooked, and so most of the funding went to application research rather than implication research and regulations. There were a number of reasons for the focus on applications, and one of these reasons were financial reasons. So with such a big investment, there was a strong desire for rapid returns. The historical moment. After the Cold War, the US was the remaining superpower. The internet boom. Between 1995 and 2000, the internet boom created a steady commercial growth. And between these reasons, the green nanovisions were also part of the focus on applications. In order to show you evidence for the focus on applications, I'm going to show you some internal emails from the Environmental Protection Agency during the first NNI years. Some of these emails may slightly mention about possible implications or risk, but the majority may focus on the applications. So here's a memorandum from the Environmental Protection Agency Office of Research and Development, and it was written during the same month that Clinton first announced the NNI. So this email explains it's focusing on applications. So the EPA thought all this application nanotechnology could do to help the environment. And so in their excitement to apply all this potential of nanotechnology, they forgot to consider that maybe these nanomaterials could be harmless to the environment. 2 years later, the Environmental Protection Agency focus was still on applications. So this is a grant that is addressing 4 topics. And out of these 4 topics, only one is focusing on the implications. And even under this topic, the focus is on environmental benefits, not risk, and also on potential harmful effects about nanotechnology at the societal level. So there was still no focus on the implications yet. It's not until 2003, 3 years after the NNI creation, that the EPA first releases a grant that looks explicitly at the implications of nanotechnology. So it took 3 years for the Environmental Protection Agency to look at the implication, and even longer for the rest of the NNI and for the government to look at environmental health and safety regulations. So after the creation of the National Nanotechnology Initiative, environmental concerns about the implications of nanotechnology were gradually taking place. So let me show you a timeline that is going to demonstrate how slow the development towards the focus on implication was. So I just told you that between 2000 and 2003, the main focus was on applications, and there were some social implications concerns. In 2006, the U.S. House of Committee on Science expressed concern on environmental health and safety regulations. In 2007, the Environmental Protection Agency releases its first policy document focusing on environmental benefits and some implications. It's not until 2008 that the National Nanotechnology Initiative funds 2 centers that look explicitly at the environmental implications of nanotechnology. So where are we today? Even today, only 3% of the National Nanotechnology Initiative total budget goes for environmental health and safety regulations. This is a title page of an internal review from the Environmental Protection Agency in December of 2011. And even the Environmental Protection Agency is criticizing itself from not being efficient in managing nanomaterial risk. Even some scholars also argue that the Environmental Protection Agency can only manage to put in place voluntary regulatory programs, and that this problem is not only in the US, but it's a global problem. So, what I argue today is that the green nanovisions were one of the reasons for the delay on environmental health and safety regulations, and that even today there's no clear regulations. My project also helped us remind that we cannot be separated from nature and that our actions have implications, so we need to start looking at those implications more. And finally, applications of nanotechnology are great, but it would be better if we look at application and implications together, because in this way we can help avoid environmental and economic losses. And for future research, I'm interested on studying the history of these green nanovisions, so that how they came to be, also learn more about current nanoproducts, and perform in-depth research about current nanoproducts implications. Thank you for coming, and thank you to everybody who made this opportunity possible. And internship have given me valuable skills, and also have shown me that I'm capable of things that I didn't know, like being here right now and talking to all of you. And I know it's just one step towards my professional life. Thank you.